A police officer lights up behind a speeding car and the driver nervously pulls over. The officer leans in and asks, "Name?" The driver answers, Dav David, sir." The officer raises an eyebrow. "What's that? Do you have a stutter?" The man shakes his head. "No, sir. My dad has a stutter, and the guy who filled out my birth certificate is an asshole." Three guys are having a few beers and talking about how dumb their wives are. Guy 1. "My wife is so dumb. She wants to spend $15,000 to redo the kitchen and she can't even cook." Guy 2. "That's nothing. My wife wants me to buy her a new $50,000 car and she can't even drive yet." Guy 3. "My wife is dumber than both of them. She bought 3 boxes of condoms to take on a business trip, and she doesn't even have a dick." A defense attorney was cross-examining a police officer during a felony trial. It went like this. Q. "Officer, did you see my client fleeing the scene?" A. "No, sir, but I subsequently observed a person matching the description of the offender running several blocks away." Q. "Officer, who provided this description?" A. "The officer who responded to the scene." Q. "A fellow officer provided the description of this so-called offender. Do you trust your fellow officers?" A. "Yes, sir. With my life." Q. "With your life? Let me ask you this then, officer. Do you have a locker room in the police station? A room where you change your clothes in preparation for your daily duties?" A. "Yes, sir, we do." Q. "And do you have a locker in that room?" A. "Yes, sir, I do." Q. "And do you have a lock on your locker?" A. "Yes, sir." Q. "Now why is it, officer, if you trust your fellow officers with your life, that you find it necessary to lock your locker in a room you share with those same officers?" A. "You see, sir, we share the building with a court complex, and sometimes lawyers have been known to walk through that room." With that, the courtroom erupted in laughter, and a prompt recess was called. The newlywed wife said to her husband when he returned from work, "I have great news for you. Pretty soon we're going to be 3 in this house instead of 2. Her husband ran to her with a smile on his face and delight in his eyes. He was glowing with happiness and kissing his wife when she said, "I'm glad that you feel this way since tomorrow morning. My mother moves in with us." An old Texas lady answered a knock on the door one day, only to be confronted by a well-dressed young man carrying a vacuum cleaner. "Good morning," the young man said. "If I could take a few minutes of your time, I would like to introduce you to the very latest in high-powered vacuum cleaners, straight from California." "Go away," said the old lady. "I have no money for such things." And she proceeded to close the door. The young man quickly squeezed his foot in the door and pushed it wide open. "Don't be too hasty," he said. "At least wait until you've seen my demonstration." And with that, he emptied a bucket of horse manure onto her hallway carpet. "If this vacuum cleaner doesn't remove all traces of this horse manure from your carpet, ma'am, I will personally eat the rest. Cross my heart." The old Texas lady stepped back and said, "Wait here while I go get a spoon. Hope you have got a darn good appetite because they cut off my electricity this morning." More than he bargained for, that's for sure. If this story taught me anything, it's that you don't mess with Texas ladies. You might get more than what you bargained for. An old geezer who had been a retired farmer for a long time became very bored and decided to open a medical clinic. He put a sign up outside that said, "Get your treatment for $500. If not cured, get back $1,000. Dr. Young, who was positive that this old geezer didn't know beans about medicine, thought this would be a great opportunity to get $1,000. He went to Dr. Geezer's clinic, and this is what happened. Dr. Young: "Dr. Geezer, I have lost all taste in my mouth. Can you please help me?" Dr. Geezer: "Nurse, please bring medicine from box 22 and put 3 drops in Dr. Young's mouth." Dr. Young: "Ah, this is gasoline." Dr. Geezer: Congratulations. You've got your taste back. That will be $500. Dr. Young gets annoyed and goes back after a couple of days, figuring to recover his money. Dr. Young: I have lost my memory. I cannot remember anything. Dr. Geezer: Nurse, please bring medicine from box 22 and put 3 drops in the patient's mouth. Dr. Young: Oh, no, you don't. That's gasoline. Dr. Geezer: Congratulations. You've got your memory back. That will be $500. Dr. Young, after having lost $1,000, leaves angrily and comes back after several more days. Dr. Young: My eyesight has become weak. I can hardly see. Dr. Geezer: Well, I don't have any medicine for that, so here's your $1,000 back. Dr. Young: But this is only $500. Dr. Geezer: Congratulations, you got your vision back. That will be $500. Moral of the story: just because you're young doesn't mean that you can outsmart an old geezer. Patty, who had a reputation for playing around with other people's wives, goes to his friend Mick and says, I'm sleeping with Jack's wife. Can you keep him busy in church for an hour after Mass? Mick isn't thrilled, but being a loyal friend, he agrees. After Mass, Mick starts chatting with Jack, asking the most random, pointless questions just to stall him. Eventually, Jack gets annoyed and says, All right, Mick, what's going on? Feeling guilty, Mick blurts out, Patty's with your wife right now, so he asked me to keep you occupied. Jack smiles, puts a hand on Mick's shoulder, and says, You'd better hurry home, mate. My wife died a year ago. An old woman received a friend request. Yesterday, I received a friend request from an attractive young man, about 19 to 20 years old. I was curious. I wanted to know why someone so young would want to be my FB friend. So I accepted it. Then he started sending me private messages. He called me beautiful. He asked my age. I'm not a liar, so I told him and reminded him that I'm quite a bit his senior. And I let him talk a bit because, truth be told, flattery isn't all bad. We kept chatting for a while, and within a short time, he asked if we could talk about adult things. I said okay. Then he said, Thank you, baby. You start. So I did. I told him adult things, like I have arthritis in my knees and how they hurt badly. My back acts up when it is cold outside. I explained that I have crazy insomnia, and I didn't forget to tell him that I have a pacemaker. And of course, I told him about the laxatives. I can't forget that. I also did not forget to tell him that I have good quality dentures. I was as honest as I could be about adult things, but I don't understand why he blocked me. Eggs, butter, and a near-death experience. One quiet morning, a wife was calmly making breakfast, flipping eggs like she'd done 1,000 times before. Suddenly, her husband burst into the kitchen like the house was on fire. Wait! Wait! He shouted. That's not enough butter? You're overcrowding the pan. They're going to stick. Flip them now! She stopped, slowly, but he wasn't done. Where's the butter? You need more butter. You're going too fast. No, too slow. Don't forget the salt. You always forget the salt. Why do you never listen to me? Watch the eggs. She stared at him, spatula frozen midair. What is your problem? She asked. Do you honestly think I don't know how to cook eggs? He smiled calmly and said, No, I just wanted you to experience what it's like when I'm behind the wheel. He's expected to make a full recovery. 2 donkeys are standing at a roadside. One asks the other, So, shall we cross? The other shakes his head. No way, look at what happened to the zebra. One day, a baby camel and its father had a conversation. Baby camel: Dad, why do we have humps on our backs? Father camel: Well, son, our humps contain the fat necessary to sustain us through all the days when we're out in the desert. Baby camel: Oh, okay. Dad, why do we have long eyelashes? Father Camel. They're to protect our eyes from the sandstorms that rage in the desert. Baby Camel. I get it now. Dad, why do we have big padded feet? Father Camel. Because the sand in the desert is very soft, and we need big feet so that we can walk on the sand without sinking. Baby Camel. Thanks, Dad. So what are we doing in the zoo? It was a man's 85th birthday, and his friends wanted to get him a special gift. Since he was a widower of many years, and after some discussion, they decided to have a girl come to his house that night and give him the time of his life. Later that evening, as the old man was getting ready for bed, he heard the doorbell ring. He opens the door and sees a girl standing there in a sexy outfit. She says to the senior, "Hi there, I'm here to give you some super lovin'." The old man thinks for a moment, then says, "I'll take the soup." The elderly Native American wanted a loan of $500, and a bank employee helped him with the application form that he needed to fill. "What do you plan to do with the money, sir?" said the banker. "I want to buy silver, make jewelry, and then sell it," he answered. "What do you have to give as collateral?" asked the man in the suit. "I don't know what collateral is," replied the other one. "It's something that has value and can cover the amount of money that you are taking. For example, do you have a car?" "Yes, a 1959 Chevrolet pickup truck," replied the indigenous man. Shaking his head, the employee asked, "Maybe something else. What about cattle?" "Yes, I have a horse," he said. "And how old is your horse?" "I have no idea. He has no teeth," replied the Native American with concern. In the end, the bank employee felt sure that this man was trustworthy and decided to lend him the $500. Some time later, the old man returned to the bank, pulled out a wad of bills, and said to the employee, "Here you have the payment of what I owe for the credit." The bank employee asked, "What do you plan to do with the rest of the money?" "I will keep it in my house," replied the indigenous. So the employee quickly asked, "Why don't you deposit in my bank?" "I have no idea what a deposit is." The bank employee explains, "Put your money in our bank, and we will take care of it. When you need to use it, you can withdraw it." Then the Native American surrounded the desk to approach the employee and asked, "What do you have to give as collateral?" A lady goes to the store to get a hair trimmer for her dog. As she's browsing, a clerk comes along and says, "If you're using it on your underarms, don't spray on deodorant for a few hours. It will sting a lot." She says, "No, it's not for my underarms." The clerk says, "Well, if you're doing your legs, don't wear pantyhose for a day. It can irritate your skin." She says, "No, it's not for my legs. If you must know, it's for my schnauzer." The clerk says, "Ah, I see. In that case, don't ride a bicycle for a week." An old man gets on a crowded bus, and no one gives him a seat. As the bus shakes and rattles, the old man's cane slips on the floor, and he falls. As he gets up, a 7-year-old kid, sitting nearby, turns to him and says, "If you put a little rubber thingy on the end of your stick, it wouldn't slip." The old man snaps back, "Well, if your daddy did the same thing 7 years ago, I would have a seat today." An old man was walking in the desert with his donkey when he reached a village. The people welcomed him with everything they could, offering him hospitality, taking care of his donkey, and feeding him. While having dinner, he was surprised to be offered camel milk, as it is of notoriously bad taste. He thus asked about it and was told that the village has been cursed with an everlasting drought and that the people have resorted to saving whatever little water they could find for crops. "Truth be told, I am one of the wise," he said. "I know how to bring you rain. However, you must first bring me a wide bucket full of water, for I need some to bring more." The next morning, all of the villagers heard of his saying and started collecting every drop of water they still had in reserve. In the end, there was barely enough to qualify for a bucket, and they gave it to the man. He then took the water and walked within his host's house. There, he took off his dirty clothes and started washing them. A curious one of the kids saw him through the window and went on to alert everyone around. By the time they arrived, angry and shouting, it was already too late. The old man has washed all his clothes and was calmly hanging them. Shame. Shame on you, old man, for wasting our water when our kids don't have enough to drink, growled the chief. But as soon as he finished speaking, the sky darkened as the clouds gathered around the village. It started raining, and it did not stop for 5 days straight. People got their fill, and everyone's reserves were overflowing. The old man was treated as a guest of honor and a hero, and the chief apologized profusely for ever doubting him. Only when he was about to leave had the kid gathered the courage to ask about how he did it. "It's simple," said the old man. "This always happens when I hang my clothes to dry." So this couple goes on vacation to Moscow. One night they decide to take a horse and buggy sightseeing. They get in a carriage and the driver introduces himself as Rudolph. Off they go. Unfortunately, the weather turns foul on them. "Darn, it looks like rain," the husband says. "No, it's drizzle," says the driver. "Actually, I'm pretty sure it's a full rain," says the husband. "No, it's drizzle," the driver repeats, louder now. "Honestly, we should have brought our umbrellas. This is definitely rain," the husband repeats. The driver stops the horse. He turns and points, angrily. "No, it's drizzle." The husband is about to argue, but his wife stops him. "Rudolph the Red-Nosed Rain, dear." Jerry and Stan are walking down the street when they see a stunning woman in a first-floor window, blowing kisses at them. Jerry says, "Hey, look at that! That woman is blowing kisses at me." Stan replies, "Just ignore her. Don't pay her any mind." The woman then gestures for him to come up to her apartment. Jerry says, "Did you see that? She's calling for me." Stan insists, "Man, don't go up there." Jerry asks, "Why not? Why don't you want me to go see her?" Stan pleads, "Dude, just listen to me. Don't go." Jerry ignores him and runs into the building. The woman comes down to meet him, and they go up to her apartment. Just as they are about to get into bed, they hear a car horn outside. The woman looks out the window and says, "Oh no, that's my husband." "Crap," Jerry exclaims. "Don't worry," she says, pointing to a large pile of clothes. "I'll just tell him you're the new housekeeper. Here, start ironing these clothes." Because the husband stays home, Jerry spends the entire day ironing. The next day, Jerry goes to Stan's house and tells him the story. "You won't believe what happened. Her husband came home, and to avoid suspicion, she had me iron a huge pile of clothes. I was stuck there ironing all day." "I told you not to go," sighs Stan. "All those clothes you spent the day ironing, I washed them the day before." A tattoo artist went to a coffee place and ordered coffee but forgot his wallet. So he tells the woman at the counter that he can't pay for it. The woman gets angry at first and then asks, "What can we do about this situation?" The tattoo artist says, "Well, I can give you a tattoo for free instead, and we can call it even." The woman thinks for a while, reluctantly agrees to it, and gets the tattoo made. Another fine day, the woman was just looking at her tattoo and realized that she liked it very much and thought, "I should get another." So she went out and found the tattoo artist's studio. She tells him she needs another tattoo as good as the previous one, and the guy goes ahead and makes another one. This time, the woman realizes she forgot her wallet and tells him she can't pay for it. So the guy asks, "What can we do about this situation?" The woman says, "Well, I'll let you touch my boobs in exchange and we can call it even." The guy thinks for a while, reluctantly agrees to it and goes ahead and touches her boobs. The woman then tells him he shouldn't be thinking so much because it was tit for tat. 3 men meet at the gate of heaven at the same time. St. Peter comes out and asks them one by one how they lost their lives. The first man says, "I thought I had a wonderful life. I had a beautiful wife, and we had a lovely place on the 22nd floor of an apartment building. I came home from work early today, and I found my wife on the bed and another man's clothes on the floor. So, of course, I started looking for the bastard who slept with my wife. She insisted that there was nobody else in the apartment. I searched everywhere, looked into every wardrobe and checked under every table, but did not find anybody. Then I went to the balcony to have a smoke and cool down. When I got out, I saw the man outside the balcony clinging to the railing. I took off my shoe and hit him on his hands till he fell down. When I looked down to see if he was dead, I saw that he had managed to grab a balcony railing of an apartment on the 18th floor. I got so mad I went and grabbed our fridge to throw it down on him to finish it up. But then my leg got entangled with the cable of the fridge, and as the fridge was dragged, it dragged me down with it. That's how I died. The second man says, I was a window cleaner. Today I had a job at a high-rise. When I was cleaning a window on the 25th floor, I lost my balance and fell down. As I was falling, I was able to grab a balcony railing, but the next moment a man appeared and hit me on my hands with his shoe. I lost my grip and fell again, but was again able to hold on to a balcony railing. The last things I saw in my life were a fridge and the man flying toward me. The third man says, All right, picture this. You just got finished banging some dude's wife. He comes home, you hide in the refrigerator. A man was having an affair with a married woman. The man had a romantic evening at her place and were about to have sex. Suddenly, there is a knock at the door. The woman tells the man, My husband is here. Collect your clothes and get out from the window. The man did not have time to get dressed, and he is naked outside on the road, and there is a light drizzle of rain. At the meantime, there is a marathon going on, and it passes by the man. The man also starts running with those guys. A runner beside him asks, Do you always run naked? Man replies, Yeah, I feel comfortable this way. Runner, Do you always wear a condom? Man, no. Only when it's raining. My girlfriend and I got into a huge argument. She was furious. I can't believe you slept with a prostitute, she yelled. I tried to stay calm. Look, what did you expect? We haven't had sex in months. I was desperate. She said, Well, I wasn't aware. You were willing to pay for it.